Welcome back, everyone. I know it's been like a year since I posted longer length content. Please forgive me. I will post more on here. I've been posting shorts for the over the past year, but I will do my best. Well, not do my best. I will post more longer length videos on here. Over the course of a few months, I will be posting content from A.A.P. Over the past few years, I've been doing a lot of video content, and I will be editing them and posting them on here as well. But today's topic will be about clothing brands and their size runs. So, for example, right, I'll see a few brands, or maybe more than just a few brands. I'll see they'll post mock-ups online, right? And I get it. It costs money. Like it really costs to get a product made. So it'd be easy if people just post mock-ups and then they'll say like should we drop, right? Of course, if you have a cult following, the people will support no matter what, or fans in general. But there's a lot of people, a lot of new fans that want to support the brand and want to see more than just that, right? So my suggestion is get both colorways from manufacturers, grab them both and just start doing style ups, right? Because of course people want to see more than just the mock-ups online. It's a full-time job, right? I will say that. I get it. It's a full-time job, but if you love it, you won't think of it as a job. You just love doing it. So, right, get the mock-ups and just start doing style ups, getting people in the clothes. I get it. Like it's hard to get models, right? Like especially if you DM them, they don't respond because you don't have a name or a platform, and you're doing it from the ground up. Support who supports you. So a lot of people will front, and especially the ones with clout, they'll act all nonchalant and stuff like that. So front now, feeling later, right? So they'll spin back around when you see when you start buzzing and shit, right? But yeah. So as I was saying, get models that support you and support what you do, right? Excuse me. So even for example, right, if say if they don't have no experience in modeling, my suggestion is, get get old magazines of like luxury brands, or not even just luxury streetwear brands, and just like tear out the pages and just put them on your wall and just like study the poses and stuff like that. I mean, if you don't want to go that route, it's IG, TikTok. You could screenshot so much content. So much out here, right? Like so much. And start screenshot, study poses, or have them on your phone. Make an album and just have label it model poses and stuff like that, right? And so for the shoot, you'll have poses for the models that they can do. Because a lot of people, again, they may not model, but they want to support. So they'll help you out by doing that, and you just show them the poses and stuff like that, or direct it. And yeah, and then also if you want to reach a wider audience, get everyone in it. What I mean by that is get the youth, get the middle age, get the 60, 70 plus, like word, like, and then just style that. And let's just say if you're not good at styling, right, and you're just good at making clothes, and hey, if you have friends that's great at styling, that's a plus right there. But if you don't, just work your ass off and just study proportions, just study what looks good on other, on people in general, like, and just like just study styling, just like work on, like, get a mannequin and work on put clothes on the mannequin and see what looks good together. Take pictures, always take pictures and stuff like that, right? And just keep going. And like I said, if you're not really good at styling, just just figure out what works for the shoot. You gotta start somewhere, right? Because then you look back 2 years from now and say, oh, wow, like I really came a long way. So yeah, back to what I'm saying of like getting everyone in the clothes, right? You might, you could reach a larger audience if you just have different age groups in them, right? In it. And and then let's just say if you do get someone with with clout or with a name, right? You just have them wear it for the shoot, then take it back, take the sample back after the shoot, and then just use that same sample with everyone else, like. And if you know, some people feel entitled, they want to keep the clothes after the shoot, and it's like, you know, you tell them straight up, and listen, man, like I'm working from the ground up. I need this piece. I need to use it on somebody else. You know, if they don't respect it, man, they don't respect their craft. That's what I'm saying. You know, some people be fanned out and they just want to, you know, give the piece away, but you know, that'll be the only sample. Then what? You asked out. But well, you know, teach his own, right? You know, some people have their own system of how they do stuff. But you know, I'm saying it at a standpoint where, you know, when you're just starting out, you know, people want to see more than just the mock-ups online, right? So, you know, people want to support and they want, you know, they want to see more. So, you know, when it goes to that, as far as that, you know, just study, you know, study. Yeah, so, you know, that covers that topic for today. You know, I will be posting more on here, longer length content, of course. Yeah, peace and love, everyone. See ya soon.